Hey everybody, Blue here, gonna come at you with this really quick analysis of this Dissidia 40-second advertisement that just came out. All it really is just the gods introducing themselves, and then the sanctuary becomes all red, and then Spiritus is there with all the villains. Materia's sanctuary has like lightning and crackling, and it starts becoming red, probably because she's losing to Spiritus, whatever little war they're having. We don't really know what's going on in the story other than Materia needs fighting energy to keep the world alive. So this is probably a representation of that, of her not having that fighting energy. Other than the gods themselves, there's also the main playable characters in these cutscenes. This shot right here gives us the best view of all the heroes lined up against each other in front of Materia. From right to left, here are the heroes: Tidus, Shantoto, Firion, Cloud, Lightning, Y'shtola, Cecil, Squall, Terra, Warrior of Light, Vaughn, Onion Knight, Zidane, and Noctis. Now you probably noticed that a couple heroes are missing. Bartz, Kain, Ace, and Ramza are all missing from the hero side in this little lineup they have here. And I can understand why they don't have Kain, Ace, or Ramza, because, you know, both Ramza and Ace are from spin-off games, and Kain is, well, he's not a protagonist, he's like a sidekick to Cecil throughout the entirety of Final Fantasy IV. Bartz, however, is kind of an enigma, because, like, he is, like, the protagonist of Final Fantasy V. He is the main character. You start off playing as him. Sure, the story doesn't totally revolve around him, it's more about Lena and Ferris, but Bartz is definitely the main character. He should be lined up with all the other main characters when they meet Materia, because, you know, he's a main character. Speaking of Final Fantasy V, however, the only other Final Fantasy V character in Dissidia NT is also not in the trailer. So there's nobody from Final Fantasy V in the trailer at all, which got me thinking, could this be, like, connected in some way between the two? Going back to that 40-second advertisement here, when Materia's sanctuary starts glitching out and becoming all lightning and stormy, it switches to Spiritus' sanctuary, and there's a shot where it goes really fast, and then it ends up with, like, you know, Spiritus going like, I'm Spiritus. During that little shot where it's going very fast, you can see all the villains lined up except for X-Death. The order the villains are shown in is Kefka, Ultimisia, Kuja, Spiritus, Sephiroth, Cloud of Darkness, Golbez, Emperor, Jekt, and Garland. Notice how X-Death is absent. Now, there's no reason given so far as to why there's no Final Fantasy V characters in this trailer, but we can theorize as to why the homie Bartz and his nemesis X-Death are nowhere to be seen in this trailer. Bartz is a very easygoing person who likes to adventure, so I could see being in his character to forget to even go to this whole, you know, meeting of the gods thing that everybody else is there for. X-Death isn't there because if Bartz isn't there, there's no reason to have X-Death. X-Death died at the end of Final Fantasy V. Bartz and the party defeated him. He went, oh, like in the old, you know, classic fantasy style of death, and he died. That's what happened to X-Death. He perished. Bartz killed him. So without Bartz, there's no reason to have X-Death, because Bartz wouldn't be able to make any fighting energy. He wouldn't be able to make as much fighting energy as his friends if he's just fighting people from worlds he didn't even know about. Fighting energy is used to power up the world that Chaos and Materia and Spiritus and Cosmos live in. So, Bartz being there alone with nobody to fight personally would probably not be able to make as much fighting energy as, let's say, somebody like Cloud. Cloud has to fight Sephiroth. Sephiroth is a memory, and that's what he'll always be. Sephiroth wants to torture Cloud. There's a lot of, you know, depth to that relationship that they have, that really negative relationship. Same with a character like, I don't know, Terra. Kefka is insane. Terra knows that he destroyed the world. Terra wants to protect the world. Kefka wants to just ruin everything. There's beef there between those two. Who's Bartz is gonna fight? Nobody. Because he has no beef with anybody, really. He just knows that they're bad guys and he don't fight them, but it's not like, I need to save the world and prove myself, what the other characters have. Bartz is there like, I'm gonna have fun and punch people. So yeah, that's probably why Bartz isn't. That's one theory is why Bartz isn't there. Another theory I had relates to the start of Dissidia. If you remember the start of the story, Warrior Light wakes up before anybody else on his team does, before, you know, the actual plot moves forward. There's a little bit of teasers of what's gonna happen later on in the story of that part. It's kind of like a prologue session of the game. I imagine Bartz might be like that, because technically, Bartz is one of the very few people who are literally called a Warrior Light in their Final Fantasy, other than, you know, obviously Warrior of Light. The only other two characters I can think of off the top of my head are the protagonist from Final Fantasy XIV and the protagonist from Final Fantasy XI. Bartz is like the only other character who's considered literally a Warrior of Light, so they might reference that part with Warrior Light, and by having Bartz have like a prologue session where, you know, he runs around, maybe fights X-Death in the world, etc. And then, you know, that cutscene where Spiritus and Materia introduce themselves plays after that part, after that little prologue. Another possibility is that Bartz just left the Sanctuary after that scene. Maybe he has to go do reconnaissance. Because in Dissidia Duodecim, Priscia's always scouting around, and that's how she found the Warrior Light when he was first summoned to the war, as a mannequin, I think he was. Either way, he was like kind of like dazed or whatever, and then she fought Garland. So Bartz could be filling up that same role as a like scout person, and Exdeath could also be the scout for Spiritus. He could be out there, and then by coincidence, Exdeath and Bartz, you know, fight or something like that. Bartz also may be providing Ifrit, since there's going to be boss battles with the summons in Dissidia NT. Bartz could be doing one at that moment right there. Maybe he might need help, maybe like saying, "Hi, I'm Materia. You need to help Bartz out before he gets killed." And we're like, "What? What's happening to Bartz?" Or maybe the Sanctuary is turning into like the, you know, the arena for the summon fight, and Bartz is gonna be like, "Oh, hi guys, I didn't know you were here. Nice to see you." Bartz also could be out of shot, or maybe the entire story taking place in Bartz's perspective, though I don't really see that happening. The scenes also could be shot in Bartz's perspective, but I don't really see that happening, because, you know, that's just weird. I mean, that is a theory. It's a guess. My final guess is that the scene is just not done. My final guess is just that the scene is not done, or they had to remove Bartz for spoiler reasons. Maybe he's wearing like an alternate costume they can't show off. That's my final guess. Regardless, if you love Bartz, if you hate Bartz, doesn't matter. He's gonna be in the story anyway. Because in the Tokyo Game Show trailer, there's this one part where Materia is telling everybody like to believe themselves and they can fight, you know, generic bullshit. And Bartz is there with his little sword. He's ready to fight whoever's coming at them off screen. So Bartz is in the story. There's no reason to worry about him. It's just that he's not in this trailer for reasons unknown at this time. Whatever you think, put it in the comments below. I want to hear all your responses on the story. I'll be reading them. And I'm looking forward to what you guys have to say. But yeah, that's all we can really take away from this trailer. It's only 40 seconds, and it doesn't have Bartz or Exdeath or any of the side characters, or, you know, side characters. Regardless, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys next time on Blue the Hedgehog. Make sure to stay safe. Make sure to love yourself. Make sure to have a lot of ice cream today. If you're lactose intolerant, don't do that. Okay. That's a dumb fucking joke. Bye.